Carney sparks outrage after scrapping question period and rejecting NDP collaboration. In a significant shift in Canadian politics, Prime Minister Mark Carney has stirred controversy by announcing the discontinuation of the traditional question period format that was a hallmark of his predecessor, Justin Trudeau. This decision has not only raised eyebrows among political analysts, but has also sparked outrage among opposition leaders and the public. The move is seen as an attempt to avoid direct scrutiny and accountability, a sentiment echoed by critics who argue that it undermines the democratic process. The NDP, now reduced to just 7 seats in the House of Commons, has found itself in a precarious position following the loss of its official party status. This status, which requires a minimum of 12 seats, is crucial for a party to receive certain resources and rights within Parliament. Interim leader Don Davies has been vocal in advocating for the NDP to be granted similar rights to those of recognized parties, but Liberal MP Stephen McKinnon has made it clear that any changes would require a consensus that is currently absent in the political landscape. This situation leaves the NDP struggling for visibility and influence, as they will only be allowed 7 questions per week during question period, with the risk of not utilizing all their allotted time due to constraints. Carney's strategy appears to be one of consolidation rather than collaboration. He has explicitly ruled out forming an alliance with the NDP, opting instead for a limited-term agreement with the Bloc Québécois, which has pledged to support his government for 1 year. This maneuver is seen as a tactical positioning for a potential second election within the year, as Carney aims to secure a majority that would enable him to push forward with an ambitious net-zero climate agenda. The implications of this strategy are significant, as it suggests that Carney is willing to prioritize his political ambitions over collaborative governance. The Prime Minister's decision to scrap the tradition of personally answering questions every Wednesday has drawn considerable criticism. By delegating these responsibilities to ministers, Carney is perceived as avoiding direct scrutiny, a move some critics attribute to his volcanic temper and inability to handle challenging questions. This shift in approach raises concerns about transparency and accountability in government, particularly as opposition parties prepare to ramp up their scrutiny of Carney's administration. The lack of direct engagement with the opposition may lead to a perception of elitism and detachment from the concerns of everyday Canadians. Recent polling data reveals a troubling economic sentiment among Canadians. A significant 36% of respondents reported that their financial situation has worsened over the past year, and 50% expect the economy to weaken further in the coming year. Additionally, only 43% feel secure in their jobs, highlighting widespread anxiety about economic stability. These statistics paint a grim picture of the current economic climate and underscore the challenges that Carney's government will face in addressing public concerns. Critics have also pointed to the growth of public sector employment, which has surged to 4.5 million, as evidence of an expanding federal workforce under Trudeau's leadership. This increase has sparked debates about fiscal responsibility and the efficiency of government spending. Many Canadians are questioning whether the growth in public sector jobs is sustainable, especially in light of the economic challenges facing the country. The perception that the federal workforce has ballooned may contribute to a growing discontent among taxpayers who feel their money is not being spent wisely. Jagmeet Singh's leadership of the NDP has come under fire, with some party members arguing that he prioritized personal ambitions over the party's future. Singh's recent electoral defeat, where he lost his seat in Burnaby Central, has prompted calls for a new leader who can authentically connect with the working-class base, reminiscent of the late Jack Layton's approach. The NDP's current predicament underscores the need for a decisive strategy to regain relevance in Canadian politics. Without a strong leader who can resonate with voters, the party risks further marginalization in the political landscape. The government's spending practices have also faced scrutiny, particularly in light of the extravagant royal motorcade for King Charles, which has drawn backlash amid rising homelessness and economic hardship in Canada. Critics argue that such displays of opulence are out of touch with the realities faced by many Canadians. The juxtaposition of royal extravagance against the backdrop of increasing poverty and homelessness raises ethical questions about government priorities and the allocation of resources. Carney's alignment with green finance initiatives and net zero policies, influenced by figures like Diana Fox Carney, has raised concerns about an elite-driven climate agenda that may not adequately address the needs of everyday Canadians. While the push for a green economy is commendable, critics argue that it must be balanced with the immediate economic concerns of the population. The perception that climate policies are being driven by an elite few could alienate voters who feel their voices are not being heard in the decision-making process. As Parliament reconvenes in the fall, opposition parties, especially the Conservatives led by Pierre Poilievre, are expected to intensify their scrutiny of Carney's government. Key issues such as the SDTC corruption scandal and the need for greater accountability will likely dominate the political discourse. Poilievre's leadership style, characterized by aggressive questioning and a focus on fiscal responsibility, may resonate with voters who are increasingly concerned about government transparency and effectiveness. The upcoming parliamentary session will be critical for Carney as he navigates the challenges posed by a resurgent opposition and a discontented electorate. The decisions made in the coming months will shape the trajectory of his government and could have lasting implications for the Liberal Party's standing in Canadian politics. As the political landscape evolves, the ability of Carney to effectively communicate his vision and address public concerns will be paramount. In conclusion, Mark Carney's recent decisions have set the stage for a contentious political landscape in Canada. His rejection of collaboration with the NDP and changes to question period reflect a strategic pivot that prioritizes his government's agenda over traditional parliamentary practices. As economic concerns loom large and opposition parties prepare for a vigorous return to Parliament, the coming months will be critical in shaping the future of Canadian politics. The balance between ambitious policy initiatives and the immediate needs of the populace will be a defining challenge for Carney's leadership. The political dynamics in Canada are shifting rapidly, and the implications of Carney's actions will be felt across the country. As citizens grapple with economic uncertainty and political disillusionment, the demand for accountability and transparency in government will only grow stronger. The coming months will test Carney's ability to lead effectively and respond to the needs of Canadians, ultimately determining the fate of his government and the future of the Liberal Party.